It is time for tonight's main event. Hasim Rahman and Michael Rush squaring off in a 10-round heavyweight bout. Hasim Rahman comes in with a record of 29-1 and 24 knockouts. This is a pivotal fight for him as he tries to vault himself right back to the top of the heavyweight landscape as far as prospects are concerned.
Ladies and gentlemen, Cedric Kushner Promotions, in association with your undisputed, undefeated king of beers, Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Present 10 rounds of boxing in the heavyweight division. The 3 judges assigned to score this bout will be Harold Letterman, Melvina Lathan, and Steve Weisfeld. And when the bell rings, your referee in charge of the action, Jim Santa. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the world-famous Roseland here in the Big Apple, New York City, let's get ready to rumble! Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing gold trimmed with black and weighing in at 209.5 pounds. He comes to us from Manchester, Georgia, with a record of 17 victories, 10 by knockout. 3 losses with 1 draw. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Michael Gold Rush. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black and white and weighing 237 pounds. From Baltimore, Maryland, he brings an outstanding record of 29 victories, 24 knockouts, with only 1 disputed defeat. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the world-ranked Hasim Rahman.
Well, New York fight fans are fired up. Jim Santa, the referee. Remember, not a big ring. It's only 18 feet by 18 feet inside the ropes.
Let's touch gloves. Come on, let's go.
Teddy, Hasim Rahman is a guy who really not only needs a win, but he's got to look good as well, doesn't he?
Well, the heavyweight division is wide open and is about to become even wider, because once the titles get unified tomorrow night, you know it's not going to be long before those corrupt organizations starts doing their stripping acts. And then all of a sudden there'll be 3 champions again, 3 opportunities again, and all the young lions are going to line up. And he wants to be in line.
Well, Hasim Rahman yesterday told us that after that controversial loss to David Tua, in which referee Ted Asiminos did not give Rahman, according to the rules in Florida, with that late punch at the end of round number 9, should have been given 5 minutes. The referee admitted to a mistake. There's a hearing on March 27th. Now, Lou DiBella of HBO told us that HBO agreed to really pony up and have Tua and Rahman fight a rematch, but Tua has been tentative and will wait to see if he's forced to fight a rematch before he agrees to one with Rockland. Purse is nearly double. That was the offering from HBO.
Well, first thing that obviously people should know is Michael Rush turned pro in '92 as a middleweight. So he is the smaller guy in there. And he's the guy that wants to act like the smaller guy. That's why he's using his legs.
There's the knockout ratio. Rahman at 80%. 20 of Rahman's knockouts have come between the first 3 rounds. You know, yesterday when we asked Rush about going from that middleweight all the way up to heavyweight, he said he naturally was 195 pounds, about 190, 195. And he just felt that he could not take that kind of weight off. And he said actually doing some sparring with Michael Moore, and you were with Michael Moore at the time, that's when he sort of felt that he might be able to give it a go at some point in the heavyweight division.
He was a guy that has skills. He's a well-trained guy. He has good skills. He's probably not big enough for this guy here. His chin has been questioned in the past. He's been stopped 2 times. Michael Rush, that is. Once by cuts. Once in the second round by Chavez Francisco back in '96.
Well, so far in this first round, according to Logan Hobson of CompuBox, Rush has only thrown 3 punches. So he is off to a very defensive stance in the first 2.5 minutes of this fight.
While he's defensive like that, you know that Hasim Rahman wants to take advantage and debilitate him a little bit. He wants to take advantage of that defensive pose. He has nothing to worry about him. Make head, go to the body, weaken the guy. So if the guy changes his mind and gets more aggressive later, there's nothing left in the bank.
Well, Rush said that that was part of his plan because he thought that Rahman would try to come out and make a statement, and he felt that he'd use his defense for the first 3 or 4 rounds and then change the tone of the fight. Well, he's taking that strategy to the max.
Good job.
Closed captioning for selected programming is brought to you by Shape-Ups.
Get in shape without setting foot in a gym with Shape-Ups from Skechers.
I'm Joe Montana, and I spent 16 years playing football, and Shape-Ups have improved my strength and posture.
Get in shape. Shape-Ups from Skechers.
Auto.
Sir, finding everything okay?
I work for a different insurance company. My auto policy is just getting a little too expensive.
With Progressive, you get the name your price option, so we build a policy to fit your budget.
Wow, the price gun. I wish we had this. We just tell people what to pay.
Yeah, we're the only ones that do.
I love your insurance. Bill? Tom?
Hey, it's an office party.
The freedom to name your price, only from Progressive. Call or click today.
It's like a blast of hydration. The new Schick Hydro. Water-activated gel hydrates your skin as you shave, and Skin Guards reduce irritation. It's the best shave for your skin. Schick Hydro. Free your skin.
Attention all homeowners. Do you want help today?
Are you having difficulty making your mortgage payments? Do you have an adjustable rate set to adjust to a new rate? Do you want to lower your mortgage payments to an amount you can afford?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, call the Loan Modification Help Hotline now. We may be able to cut your mortgage payment in half and help to reduce your interest payment to as low as 1%. Find out what we can do for you today. The call is free. The consultation is free.
We were so worried about losing our home. Loan modification helped us to avoid foreclosure. Glad I made the call.
Homeowners, do not struggle another minute. Call the Loan Modification Help Hotline toll-free. Discover how much we can reduce your mortgage payment. Act now. We may be able to cut your mortgage payment in half and help to reduce your interest payment to as low as 1%. Call now for a free consultation.
Call 1-800-230-3658.
Tomorrow night at Madison Square Garden, the heavyweight picture will be unified as Evander Holyfield puts his 2 titles on the line against Lennox Lewis. David Tua has the USBA title. He took that from Hasim Rahman. Michael Grant, the NABF. And Teddy, we take a look at the IBF rankings. And you see that David Tua has that top spot with his win against Rahman. And Rahman would like to move up a little bit.
Oh, yeah, he would. And he needs, as you said, he needs to take advantage of this smaller guy in front of him, his comeback fight in front of him, and he has to show that he's right back in that position again, that he belongs in that position again.
He had a very, very interesting take when we spoke with him yesterday about how rankings should actually take place with young fighters, sort of take the politics out of it, or at least try to. We'll bring that to you in a little bit, but take a look at some numbers in round number 1. And Rush said he would be defensive. Well, that's ridiculous, isn't it, Teddy? Only throwing 4 punches?
Yeah, that's defensive. That'll get you out of there in a hurry, especially with a big banger than Rahman. The only reason Rahman probably is not stepping up even more is he's a little tentative more for that last fight. And then make no mistake about it, that's why the people wanted a little bit of a shorter, smaller heavyweight in front of him, a defensive guy. Because if he was tentative, he wouldn't pay the price. But he'll gain his confidence as he goes on. If Rush doesn't change his ways, he will start taking some pretty big shots. Rahman is a real solid technical fighter. He'll go to the body, everything's off the jab. Technically very solid, doesn't do too much wrong. If you blamed anything, sometimes people would say that he's a little mechanical, a little bit plodding. But he's a good puncher, very solid fundamentally.
Rush throwing a few more punches here in round 2.
Rush is showing now maybe what his plans are. Looking to get positions for counters and then get out. Pick his spots. Obviously, he doesn't want to lay in front too long with the bigger Rahman.
There's been a defensive posture for Michael Rush through the first round, 2+ minutes.
Even though Rothman's carrying the rounds, the only criticism towards him right now could be that he could be doing a little more. Take advantage when your opponent is giving you opportunities to open them up. Take advantage of it. Otherwise, later on, he may get aggressive and you may be sorry you didn't take advantage earlier. Things change quickly in a boxing match. Cuts. Lots of things can change the landscape.
I think the one thing you might say as a plus side for Rockman is, although he said he wanted to be very impressive, can you admire his patience right now, that he's not going crazy? Or is that not necessarily proper praise?
Well, he's a guy who's real solid fundamentally anyways. That's part of his temperament. I think some of it's added because he's coming off that loss.
We come to the end of round 2, all Rockman, and you get a look at Brian and Max, who are here on Broadway, playing Broadway tonight, guys. Take it away.
Here we are, not even off Broadway. We're right here. I want to bounce off something that Bob was saying, that the appeal to the IBF, that David Tua could get a rematch with Hasim Rahman. I think they say, hey, the winner of this fight gets the #1 ranking. Tua won it. Even if it was stopped too early, Tua won it. That'd be wrong to get a rematch in that fight. He won that already.
I mean, if Rahman wins the appeal, then he wins the appeal, and he's mandated for a rematch. What impresses me, and I wonder what Teddy has to say about this, I think Rahman's a natural counterpuncher. It just occurred to me. He's not that quick. He looks a little bit uncomfortable leading, and maybe the reason he looks so good against Tua is Tua forced the fight. He made Rahman counterpunch. Maybe Rahman's really a natural counterpuncher. That's what he's most comfortable doing.
Tua gets the #1 shot after Henry Akinwande, who is the WBC #1. I don't know if we want to see that. You don't want to see Lewis and Akinwande either. Hopefully it will be Tua.
In round number 3 underway, I think Brian's point is well taken in the fact that Tua beat Rahman, but I think the reason for the appeal is because according to Florida rules that were being used as part of that IBF battle for #1, the referee made a mistake, and that was agreed upon after the fight. The referee, Ted Asaminos, with that late punch at the end of round number 9, was supposed to give Rahman as much as 5 minutes, and they did not do that. And I think that's the basis of the appeal for the Rahman camp, but that is no matter right now. He just continues to attack Michael Rush.
And he's getting more and more aggressive now. You can see there's no doubt about it. He's a little tentative. That's why his people knew what they were doing, putting him in with a little bit of a smaller guy. Tentative coming off that first loss and a knockout loss. But now he's starting to warm to the task a little bit. Confidence is starting to flow a little bit. And you can see everything is off that jab. He hooks off that jab. He steadies the guy off that jab. That was out of character. He usually does not read.
Rush opening up just a little bit.
Problem with Rush right now, you can see his plan. He's going to pick spots to counter. But in the meantime, how much punishment does he take?
Okay, what about the point that Max made about Rockman actually being a counterpuncher?
Well, tonight he's a little tentative, so it could give you that misillusion a little bit because he's coming off that loss. But in Tua, he wasn't counterpunching. He was leading. That's why he was winning the fight. He was using his jab. He was picking spots. Sometimes he was getting out. He was being a smart boxer. Tonight he's being a little bit more cautious. And again, I think it's coming off that first loss. A lot of people will notice on the right side of the face of Rahman is a dark side, a scar. He had 500 stitches in a car accident a few years ago, went through a windshield.
1 minute to go in the 3rd round. Rahman, a tough guy.
You can see there he's trying to open up the can a little bit, Rahman. Rush is covering up. What Rahman should be doing is going to that body and bringing it up the middle.
Right hand, Rush blocked most of that. Rahman starting to press forward, and some of those punches getting through that right hand, getting through that block.
The problem with the block when you don't move your head is your head is still in the middle.
Rush tries to counter with a left. Rahman continues to dig in.
Rahman is now starting to really warm up. There's the counterpunch opportunities from Rush. The only problem, Rush, not a big banger.
Well, he has the 10 knockouts in the 21 fights.
Yeah, but against who?
Right, exactly.
You've learned from doing these fights, it's not the knockouts, it's who the guys were that got knocked out that counts.
Well, Rahman continuing to control action through the first 3 rounds.
Limit Live. lime soda, you look pretty sleepy. Maybe you need a wake-up call from the front desk of flavor. Ooh, Captain Morgan Lime Bite. Bite this. Carol, try Captain Morgan Lime Bite. And baby, drink responsibly.
To get my buddies to help me move, I picked up Pizza Hut pizzas for just $10 each.
Those were the only boxes he picked up.
Hey, whoa, I supervised.
Pick up any of your favorite pizzas for just $10 and add a 2-liter Pepsi and breadsticks for $4 more. Only at your Pizza Hut.
These are men who honor the tradition of victory. Possessed with outrunning fear, they ride in the face of reason itself. Why would anyone choose this life of relentless flame and merciless steel? 'Cause it's racing.
Baseball's biggest bats put on a show. Live from Angel Stadium of Anaheim, the 2010 State Farm Home Run Derby, Monday at 8 on ESPN.
Classic Boxing, weeknights 8 Eastern, only on ESPN Classic.
You're stuck on a treadmill. You're making minimum payments on your credit cards, and you just don't get anywhere. Let Consolidated Credit tell you the truth. When credit card companies are charging high interest, it's virtually impossible to pay off your debt. Let's say you owe $5,000 and your rate is 21%. Of your $100 minimum payment, $87 is interest. It'll take you over 33 years to pay off that debt. Call Consolidated Credit. They'll get the credit card companies to reduce or eliminate your interest. Get off the treadmill. Get on with your life. Call Consolidated Credit. They're the freedom people.
Call toll-free 1-800-440-5217.
Consolidated Credit. When credit card debt is the problem, they're the solution.
You're watching the 1999 heavyweight match between future champion Hasim Rahman and Michael Rush right here on ESPN Classic.
Shots.
Atlantic City, John
Speed him up.
Peace Brown.
Nothing would do and make a good four shot to her.
Give this guy a raise. Corner of Hasim Rahman, Chuck McGregor, his trainer. Take a look at some of the good action in round number 3. And Teddy, now Rahman just sort of punching through the defense of Rush, and then Rush trying to counter.
And you see, when you cover up and you don't move your head, or you're a target, there's a counter left hand there, but no pop on it. Again, covering up, not moving your head. You're a target. You have to cover, but you have to move your head.
And we start round number 4 of the scheduled 10-round heavyweight bout. And Teddy, some alarming numbers in round number 3 as far as Rush and his defensive posture. Rush only threw 22 punches in round number 3. He landed 13 of them, 59%. Rahman threw 104 punches in the round. And he threw 82 more punches in the round.
Oh, you'd throw too if the guy was just covering up in front of you. Sometimes he covers up too long. It's going to look like he has everlast on his forehead.
You know, we talked about the rate. Oh, good right hand from Rahman. Backed up Rush. We talked about the ratings. Rahman, the youngster at 26, had an interesting take on how the rating should be determined for non-champions and non-veterans. He said for the young guys like myself, we should all be made to fight each other in order to get into the top 3 and 4, 1 and 2 rankings. And there should be a set pay scale to fight in that first round. And then as you move up in the rankings, the winner gets more pay. And then you fight your way into the top 5 and into the top 3, rather than just having arbitrarily guys getting picked out of nowhere and suddenly are ranked number 2.
Well, in the old days, one of the reasons there were better fights, there was more incentive. You know, you had to work your way to the card. You know, just because you had a good record didn't mean you got there yet to fight decent guys. So the theory of what he's saying has a lot of merit and history to it. You know, nowadays guys want to have glossy records. They figure, okay, they get a title shot or something. And that works that way sometimes. In the old days, it didn't matter if you lost. You were fighting good fighters, you were going to be used. That's what mattered.
Rush trying to dig to the body a little bit, but Rahman just controlling this fight for nearly the first 4 rounds. Slapping left hand from Rush did not hit. Does Rahman now start to look to turn it on, Teddy, and now take Michael Rush out? Because as he told us yesterday, Rahman feels that whether that appeal with Tua comes through or not, whether he gets his rematch, so on and so forth, that he's got to look good in this fight.
It's just the natural proximity of where we are. We're 15 blocks away from Madison Square Garden, where the big event is going. He wants to send a message. He wants to be inspired by that. There's no doubt about it. And plus, the jitters are gone now.
Bad cut. It looks like over the right eye of Rush. There's blood around that right eye of Rush. I'll have to get a better look, see if it's on the eyebrow or just below it.
And that has been a problem in his career.
Come to the end of round number 4. Hasim Rahman rock solid through the first 4.
After using Rogaine for a while, I went to my stylist and she said hair was growing back. I was like, yes, this works.
Only Rogaine is proven to regrow hair in 85% of guys.
And that's it.
Stop losing, start gaining.
It's like a blast of hydration. The new Schick Hydro. Water-activated gel hydrates your skin as you shave, and Skin Guards reduce irritation. It's the best shave for your skin. Schick Hydro. Free your skin.
And now I'll turn it over to the Gecko.
Ah, thank you, sir. As we all know, Geico has been saving people money on RV, camper and trailer insurance, as well as motorcycle insurance. Ah, sorry. Technical difficulties.
What about this?
What's this one do? Maybe that one.
Okay, let's keep rolling. We run motorcycle insurance?
Take 15 minutes to see how much you could save on motorcycle, RV, and camper insurance.
All right, next caller, line 3. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Bill, I'm hoping you can help me.
Okay, what's your question?
Well, I owe the IRS some money.
How much?
A lot.
How much?
I owe them like $48,000.
Ooh. Well, there are 2 people that I simply don't mess with. First is my wife. The second is the IRS, and I'd rather have my wife come after me than the IRS. Don't face the IRS by yourself. You need a pro. I've been a lawyer and broadcaster for over 25 years, and I've given legal advice to tens of thousands of listeners. But when the question is about tax problems, I have only one answer: Tax Resolution Services.
Hi, I'm Mike Rosbrook, founder of Tax Resolution Services. If you owe the IRS over $15,000 in back taxes, have unfiled returns, or are under audit, Tax Resolution Services can help you negotiate a settlement for up to 85% of what you owe.
Call 1-800-326-8158 for a free consultation or log on to taxresolution.com.
You're going to knock him out with a right hook. You pull it right into him. Try hitting right on the temple with it. Speed.
Hasim Rahman has dominated Michael Rush through the first 4 rounds of this fight. Rush has not exactly made it tough on Rahman, being very economical with the punches that he has thrown, although he's starting to pick it up just a little bit. Take a look at some numbers from round 4 and see that 17 punches thrown, and I'm saying he's picked it up. Remember, in round number 1, he only threw 4 punches. He landed 1.
Besides being a bigger guy and more aggressive guy, obviously he's been in with the bigger guys, or actually the better fighters. Rahman, that is. Before his loss to Tua, he had a 12-round win over Jesse Ferguson, perennial contender at one time, guy who's been an opponent for a lot of the top guys, and he had a good win back in '97 over Obed Sullivan.
Rush with that left hand. Now, Rush said after the first 4 rounds he would start to open it up and let this fight settle in, where he then can be the man who can score and land shots. You know, Rahman has been one to fade a little bit. That has been one of the knocks on him. In that fight against Tua, obviously faded late in round number 9 and got tagged. Faded in that win against Obed Sullivan late.
And he can have problems with guys that move a little bit. Not tonight because the guy's moving but not punching. But you can see when Rush does move that Rahman is a little bit slow, a tiny bit cement-footed. Adjusting, has a little bit of trouble. But the problem here is, of course, Michael Rush is not punching in between those moves.
Doctor took a look at the cut along the right eye of Rush and said it's not a problem. But we'll see if Rockman continues to pound away if it will become a problem. Body shot, setting up shots to the head for the Rock.
Well, I can tell you, to become a problem if he doesn't throw back. Because then the referee will figure, why do I let it go on? He's not going anywhere. It's not competitive. And that would be part of the judgment in the referee's mind. Good right hand time there by Rockman.
Right hand from Rockman, and
fundamentally solid, like I said earlier, by Rockman. Through the right hand, what'd he do? He slipped over to the left, where he'd be out of the way of any return. That time he pulled back. Yeah, he got slapped a little bit.
Now referee Jim Sanford looking at Rush, and Rush is going for the fair catch. Oh, his left eye is just exploded with blood.
They're going to probably stop it.
Yeah, that is a horrific cut over the left eye, and is not the eye that had been cut earlier. This is the left eye, and blood is just pouring out. And they're going to stop. They have to stop it. The fight has to be stopped. I mean, that looked like something from a movie.
Yeah, very bad. And of course, the fighter, you can't blame him. The fighter went down on his own because obviously he realized the extent of the injury. That almost looks like it, not trying to be a doctor here, but that almost looked like it hit near an artery.
Rockman was the one who sort of pointed it out to the referee and said, hey, look at that cut. I mean, that is just a horrendous cut. And the fight is being stopped right now. And you have to stop. The fans are booing, but they obviously don't understand the severity of that cut. It's not like the cut on the right eye that was controllable, Teddy. That thing cut and blood was just flying out.
Yeah, that was a really terrible looking thing there. And you can see them as they're working at it.
And you'll take a look at Rockman. He punches, and he sees this cut open up, and he realizes that, whoa, that's a problem. We'll point to referee Jim Sanford and say, hey, look at the eye. I mean, blood right now is getting ready to start spouting out. Look at it. It's coming out like...
And Michael Rush realizes it, and he's going to go down on a knee.
I mean, that looked like WWF blood.
And as you said, Rockman did act like a real gentleman. He pointed, he said, hey, there's no reason for this to continue. A little bit like Larry Holmes did when he had an overmatched Marvis Frazier, and he looked to the referee and said, hey, why don't you stop this?
Yeah, the canvas right now, right in front of us, there's some big little things of blood there. I mean, it just started spurting out. Unlike a lot of cuts that you normally see where blood trickles and then it gets worse, I mean, here it just started flying out. And Michael Rush is stopped in round number 5, and Hasim Rahman picks up his 30th win and his 25th stoppage. So we never really got a chance to see Rahman open it up, but Rahman does get the win.
This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com.